My son has become a degenerate after finding a goth girlfriend and slapped me in front of her to try assert dominance over me, so I called the police on him. A few months ago my son Roger started failing classes, which is something he has never done before as he was a straight A student. Around this same time, he started hanging out with a girl from school. She wears a lot of baggy clothing, pale makeup and wears ICP shirts every time I've seen her. I think my son is in love with her, because he now always paints his face before he goes out, with the exception of when he is going to school. He had about $500 saved up and I guess he went out and bought all these ICP shirts and hats. At first, I didn't know what ICP was, so I googled it. I found that there is a culture around this band and they call themselves juggalos. I found a lot of negative stuff about juggalos, so naturally I was concerned. Some even consider it a gang. I brought this up with my son and asked him if he was on substances. This was about 2 weeks after he started dressing this way. He told me to mind my own business and slammed his bedroom door in my face. I waited a few days and tried to talk to him about it again. This time, he told me that I was being dumb and that he wasn't doing substances. I asked him why he was wearing face paint. He told me that it was no different than me wearing Kiss makeup when I went to one of their concerts years ago. I told him that I was going to a concert, not spending an hour doing makeup to walk 5 minutes to the grocery store to buy a gallon of milk. The argument really didn't get anywhere and I decided to let it go. This was until we went out for our yearly Mother's Day dinner. We usually go to a decent restaurant and this year we decided to go to Macaroni Grill. Well, my son decided he was going to wear his face paint and ICP clothes to this dinner. I was ticked off and told him to go change. I told him that this wasn't a circus and we were celebrating his mother. He got very upset and yelled some profanity at me about how I am a horrible father. Because of this argument, we didn't go to dinner. I feel horrible about it for my wife's sake, and I did make it up to her the next day. Either way, up until last week my son and I had little contact and when I would try to talk to him, he gave me the silent treatment. This last weekend I found something no father wishes they would ever find. Call me a bad father for snooping, but I did. He was out doing his thing with this girl and I wanted to see if he had any substances in his room. I thought maybe I would find some grass. If I did, I would confiscate it and talk to him about it. But what I found was a white powdery substance in a small Ziploc bag. Being a former addict, I knew what it was. I went and talked with my wife about it and she was shocked. We didn't know what to do. Hours later, my son showed up at our home with this girl. I called him out about what I found and he completely lost it and told me I had no right to go through his things. After his yelling was finished, I asked the girl to leave and that this was a family matter. My son told me to F off, proceeded to literally slap me and took her to his room. My wife was crying and I was fuming. It took a lot not to slap him across the head but I maintained myself and didn't resort to that. What I did next is what I feel was the best thing I could do. I called the police on them.